Mohbad's journey began in the bustling, chaotic streets of Lagos, where life demanded toughness and every day was a battle for survival. Born Iliri Oluwa Oladimeji Aloba, he carried the weight of dreams far bigger than his surroundings. From a young age, music became his escape, a way to tell his story, his struggles, and the streets he called home. The beats, the rhythm, and the raw lyrics were more than entertainment, they were a lifeline, a voice for those who often went unheard. In a world where opportunities were scarce and trust was rare, Mohbad's determination set him apart. He hustled tirelessly, performing at local gatherings, collaborating with emerging artists, and steadily building a reputation that would eventually reach far beyond his neighborhood. Each song he wrote was infused with the realities of street life, speaking of ambition, betrayal, loyalty, and survival. Young Nigerians resonated with his lyrics, they saw their own struggles mirrored in his music. His breakthrough was hard-earned. There were setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when the dream seemed to slip away. Yet, every rejection, every closed door only fueled his hunger. Mohbad's voice, gritty, authentic, and unpolished, carried the pain, triumphs, and frustrations of the streets, giving life to stories that might otherwise have gone untold. Even in those early days, his charisma and determination hinted at the star he would become. At this stage, Mohbad had transformed from a young boy with a dream into a rising star in Nigeria's vibrant music scene, poised to make a mark that would echo long after the first beat dropped. The streets had molded him, struggle had sharpened him, and the world was about to hear the voice of a fighter, a storyteller, and a legend in the making, ready to leave his unmistakable mark on music and culture. Mohbad's rise in the Nigerian music scene was rapid, fueled by talent, grit, and the authenticity that set him apart from his peers. After his early underground hits, the streets and social media became his stage. Fans connected with his raw lyrics and relatable narratives, praising the way he captured life's highs and lows. Every new track seemed to cement his place as a voice for the streets, a figure who represented ambition, struggle, and unfiltered truth. Collaborations with bigger artists began opening doors. Mohbad's energy, charisma, and distinctive style drew attention from producers and labels eager to harness his growing influence. Yet, success brought its own challenges. Rivalries, jealousy, and the pressure of public expectation tested him at every turn. Behind the scenes, the industry's politics and the fragile trust in his inner circle created tension, forcing him to navigate fame while staying true to himself. Despite the obstacles, Mohbad's music continued to shine. Songs like his street anthems and collaborations showcased not only talent but resilience, a reminder that he had fought for every opportunity. Interviews, appearances, and performances revealed a young man aware of the spotlight, yet determined not to let it change the core of who he was. Fans celebrated his victories, but the scrutiny of critics and observers intensified with each success. At this stage, Mohbad had established himself as a rising star with both influence and controversy trailing him. His artistry resonated deeply, his presence commanded attention, and the world began to see the magnitude of the force he was becoming. Yet, the road ahead promised more challenges, testing his spirit, loyalty, and the very essence of the legend he was striving to become. As Mohbad's fame grew, so did the complexities surrounding his life and career. The spotlight illuminated not only his talent but also the struggles, conflicts, and whispers that followed him everywhere. Friends and collaborators praised his creativity, yet behind the scenes, rivalries simmered. Social media amplified every word, every move, and every rumor, turning minor disagreements into public debates. For a young artist from the streets, navigating this world required more than skill, it demanded strategy, resilience, and thick skin. One of the most shocking incidents occurred when Mohbad was reportedly attacked by associates linked to Imole. The news shook fans and the industry alike, sparking outrage and concern. Social media exploded with debates, accusations, and sympathy, while Mohbad's team worked to clarify the situation. The attack became a pivotal moment in his story, showing the dangers and pressures of being a rising star in a world where loyalty and rivalry often collided violently. Through it all, his music never faltered. Tracks released during this period reflected both triumph and turmoil, blending catchy hooks with gritty realism. He continued collaborating, performing, and innovating, showing the world that he could thrive despite obstacles. Yet, the pressure of maintaining success, managing relationships, and staying authentic created an internal war that few could see. At this stage, Mohbad had evolved from a rising star into a prominent figure whose influence extended beyond music. Every song, every headline, and every performance added layers to his story, a narrative of talent, ambition, conflict, and the personal battles that came with fame, hinting at the challenges and tragedies yet to unfold. The pressure surrounding Mohbad's life intensified as his career reached its peak. Every move, every song, and every association was scrutinized, and rivalries became unavoidable. Enemies from both the industry and the streets tested his resilience, creating a constant tension that shadowed his every step. Loyalty was fragile, and alliances shifted unexpectedly, turning friends into rivals and leaving Mohbad to navigate a world filled with hidden threats. Every encounter demanded vigilance, and every handshake carried the weight of potential betrayal. Amid this turbulence, violent confrontations became part of his reality. Reports of attacks, including the shocking incident with associates linked to Imole, reminded him that fame often attracted danger. These moments were more than physical, they were tests of character, resilience, and survival. Each altercation forced Mohbad to sharpen his instincts, confront deception head-on, and adapt to a world where enemies could be anywhere, and trust was rare. Despite the threats, his dedication to music never wavered. Studio sessions became sanctuaries, performances a release, and lyrics a reflection of both triumph and struggle. Each song carried the intensity of his battles, the lessons from betrayal, and the raw energy of surviving violent trials. Fans felt every beat, every word, and every emotion, connecting deeply with a young man who refused to be broken. At this stage, Mohbad had evolved into more than a rising star. He was a young man shaped by enmity, hardened by betrayal, and tempered by violent trials. Every confrontation, every challenge, every test of loyalty added layers to his story, a narrative of courage, resilience, and the relentless spirit of a fighter determined to survive and rise above the dangers that surrounded him, leaving a mark that would echo long after each struggle. Tragedy struck with a sudden and shocking force, leaving fans and the music industry in disbelief. Mohbad's untimely death became the focal point of grief, sorrow, and reflection across Nigeria and beyond. While speculation swirled, the reality of his loss was undeniable. The streets that once celebrated his rise now mourned the absence of a voice that had captured the struggles, hopes, and dreams of a generation. Every tribute, every message, and every song replayed reminded the world of the talent and spirit that had been silenced far too soon. Even amid mourning, whispers of betrayal and hidden enmity lingered in the background. Friends and associates were scrutinized, tensions that had simmered behind the scenes gained attention, and fans wondered about the pressures and conflicts Mohbad had faced. Violence and rivalry had marked much of his journey, and the memory of past attacks served as a chilling reminder of the dangers surrounding a young man navigating fame and influence. His music, however, endured. Tracks that once energized crowds now became anthems of remembrance. Fans found solace in lyrics that reflected resilience, struggle, and unfiltered truth. Mohbad's artistry continued to inspire and connect, proving that while his presence could be taken, his voice and legacy were permanent. At this stage, Mohbad's story had become a powerful testament to the fragility of life, the weight of loyalty and betrayal, and the indelible mark of a young man whose rise, trials, and ultimate departure left an unforgettable imprint on the music world and the hearts of those who believed in him. His journey, though cut short, became a legend whispered in streets, echoing through speakers, and immortalized in the beats that still pulse through the hearts of fans, a reminder that talent, courage, and truth can never be silenced, and that every struggle, every fight, every note, and every word of Mohbad's life will continue to inspire long after the lights dim.